After all of the recent what seem to be bottom signals, we finally start getting some upward momentum in altcoins and specifically utility altcoins. Then this morning we see Bybit hacked for $1.5 billion worth of Ethereum, sends the market back down temporarily. But I do think this is a perfect opportunity to be stacking up on utility altcoins. We are seeing the rotation back into gaming, back into AI, RWA, and people are really shying away from the meme coin space, which I think is healthy for the longevity of crypto and specifically for this cycle's alt season. I'm going to go over really the few altcoins that I'm stacking at this point in time. I'm not diving into 15, 20 plays at this point in time. I'm really isolating on a few with really good narratives. So I'm going to go over those in this video and why I really do think that we may have seen the worst of it when it comes to the capitulation, to the meme coin grifting, everything going on. So let's go ahead and jump into it. First and foremost, guys, drop down if you enjoy the content, if you enjoy the channel, please like and subscribe down below. It helps us get in front of like-minded investors just like yourself. And of course, we have you covered on all the alpha from gaming, AI, RWA, and more. And a big shout out to our sponsors here on In the Game. We have 𝗏𝗏𝗀𝗀𝗏, Moon Tropica, we have Medieval Empires, as well as CRADLE Games, our exchange partners, as well as Nexus. And I want to give a big shout out. You know, we use the software here. This is my in-house software my team and I built. It covers the entire market. You can track your portfolio. You can see different NFT data, on-chain data, everything that you need to win in this market. We actually just went live on the iOS App Store. So you can type in Nexus Labs on the iOS store, and you can now start using our software product to track the entire market, as well as all the wallets that you have in crypto. One of the best portfolio trackers in the space. You can now download this on the iOS Apple App Store. So check that out, and I'll leave the link down below in the description for that. So let's go ahead and jump into it. Obviously, you know, the market was looking pretty bleak, especially after the Libra incident, the Argentina coin. Whenever that happened, people really started pivoting away from stuff like Solana and especially, you know, really trying to filter back into utility. That was the one thing that was the big priority on the timeline. People talking about, well, this is the catalyst we needed in a way that flushes out the meme coin degeneracy and makes people come back down to earth and say, that's not really healthy, right? And whilst, you know, I was trading memes and I was actively in the meme space, I wouldn't say, you know, you can't dive into these things full time. And that's why we've always had priority on gaming, on AI. And really, my long-term portfolio is much more important to me than my short-term trading capital. And seeing the trenches and meme coins kind of go away is actually a good thing. Right now, as we see here, Solana user activity has dropped 40% as meme coin rug pulls have eroded the trust on the chain, driving capital outflows to Ethereum and Arbitrum. Now, let me just pivot to this. Whenever I say attention's moving from Solana, I am still bullish Solana long term. I have a lot of questions about that. Did I sell my Solana? I absolutely did not sell my Solana. I'm still very much involved in the Solana ecosystem. I hold Solana tokens as well as overarching holding Sol. So for me, no, this is not an event where I'm selling my Solana, but attention is definitely pivoting elsewhere at this moment in time, and it's going into quality utility alts. If we just take a look here at the stuff that's up over the 24 hours, we have Moon Tropica up 23%, Virtual's Protocol finally catching a bounce here, up 22%, Big Time up 21%, we have Xborg up 12%. So some of the money is finally coming back into these types of altcoins. We have Mantra continuing to crush it. I think their FDV just flipped Polkadot. So for anyone who's been riding Mantra in the RWA space, this has been a massive win for us, especially in a time where altcoins just aren't really performing that well. And then of course 𝗏, we have mentioned we took a position here at 375. This got a Coinbase listing and this has been doing very well, sitting above 450 as we sit here today. But just this morning, we had a little bit of another black swan. And you might be wondering, like, how much worse can it get after Melania? How much worse can it get than Libra? All these different coins coming out and basically just destroying the confidence of investors. Well, we have Bybit crypto exchange, which was hacked for $1.4 billion of ETH and staked ETH. This is from, straight from the source now. It was initially reported by, on-chain sleuths like 𝗧𝗥𝗬𝗧𝗢, but then we finally see Bybit come out and acknowledge that their multi-sig wallet was compromised. This caused a pretty quick dip in Ethereum and overall markets. I had woke up before this was really reported, and, Bitcoin, we were sitting at 99 and we're slowly climbing back up. A lot of momentum was coming back into the market. It almost felt like the Libra, if you lost money, obviously, condolences, but at the same time, it did feel like that type of event where like, all right, we're going to filter back into what matters here. Teams that are building product, teams that are producing revenue, quality infrastructure, chains and layers that we actually use on a day-to-day basis, not just speculating on the latest meme that Elon Musk or Donald Trump tweets on a daily basis, right? So that was feeling a lot healthier. Then we kind of have this come through. But honestly, for something that could feel like a negative catalyst, the market isn't really reacting in such a stark downside type of a way. So for me, this is actually a pretty bullish time to still be buying, especially if you are in trading. Like, I think that Ethereum is going to bounce back from whatever dip it really already has. So for me, this was a great opportunity if you had the opportunity to long ETH. But overall, I think altcoins are looking great at this point in time. When we just take a look at what's going on globally, okay? And this is most important. We see the money printers turning on. So in America, they're talking about the Doge stimulus check. Is that going to happen? We'll see. And they're talking about 4K to every American taxpayer, like whatever the case is. There's maybe going to be some sort of a Doge stimulus coming from, the tax misappropriation, let's just call that. But then we see China, their money supply. China is printing money like crazy. China is in a deep recession from the largest debt bubble in their history. If you've been following that over the last year or so, they have been in probably one of the worst states that their economy has been in a long time, and popping primarily from transportation and real estate debt. They are now printing absurd amount of money to prop up their financial market. Liquidity of this size spills over into global markets. If you see here, they have almost doubled their money supply from 62 trillion up to 112 trillion just right now. So this is a big catalyst. And then if we see stimulus coming from Doge, not Dogecoin, Elon's Department of Government Efficiency, just to clear that up, we're not going to get a Dogecoin deposit in your Robinhood. That's not what we're talking about. But we might get something from all the tax misspending and stuff like that. So if this comes through the door, which we're seeing right now in China, and then we see a stimulus in America, we saw what happened after 2021. This is going to springboard markets like crazy, or really after 2020, whenever stimulus checks and liquidity was printed. So what am I looking at? Well, first and foremost, I'm looking at utility alts. Gaming, AI, RWA. That's really my focus. I'm not adding new positions in the meme coin space. I'm not really delving into meme coins. But before we dive into the real utility alts, I want to talk about a utility ecosystem that right now is still a little degenerate, and so I'll preface this before we dive into full-blown utility alts. But number one, I would be stacking Avalanche like crazy. Their network is blowing up maybe like it never has before when it comes to GameFi, when it comes to traditional DeFi. RWA is building on there. And then we also have the speculation, meme coins, AI agents. We literally see the meme coins on Avalanche flipping Pengu. And these are off of pre-sales. So coming up, the application's just closed for Albert. This is coming up right around the corner. It's AI gaming and AI agents, and their art is absolutely incredible. For anyone who's getting selected in the application process, congratulations. I do think this is going to cook pretty hard. And I think it's not a huge allocation, but the last two with Ket and Wink have done 100Xs. So you don't really need a whole bunch to be able to cook on this. And then we also see Blubcoin coming on Avalanche. But you might be wondering, well, why are you talking about utility alts? I'm really alluding to AVAX here. Regardless, AVAX Eco is exploding right now, and especially off the heels of what's happening on Solana. So even further than those pre-sales, which I think will do very well, especially because of what has just happened on Solana and the recent successes on the AVAX pre-sale kind of meta, we could call it. But right now, I think Avalanche at $25, this is an absolute steal, especially when you look about a year ago, this is trading at $63. And even just a couple months ago, we see this trading at $53. I think that Avalanche is an absolute buy at these prices, and I think it's one of those that it's such a great high-level altcoin, you don't really have to worry about day-to-day price fluctuations here. So overall, I'd be looking at Avalanche. And like I said, it's not just pre-sales. It's not just DeFi. They have institutions like BlackRock utilizing Avalanche, as well as gaming. They have Off the Grid. They have Shatterline. And then, of course, they have MapleStory, which the numbers on their Pioneer test are crazy. 2,600% user growth. Daily signups jumped from about 3,000 to 119,000. 150,000 daily transactions, showing long-term interest beyond hype. So this all builds confidence for me in a position on Avalanche, but also segueing into utility alts and gaming. Look, gaming is, for the most part, the last 8 months been the joke of crypto narratives because of the fact that we haven't had a long-term hit yet. It's been a long time since it's really pumped. It's been about a year since gaming was the it narrative. We had Off the Grid come through, steal the show about 5 months ago or 6 months ago, whenever that was. It feels like forever ago, but 4 or 5 months ago, and every streamer was playing it, but there was no on-chain activity as far as past testnet. Testnet is live, but no coin to trade and really no assets to make real money on. So that didn't really spark liquidity into the gaming space. It just kind of showed people, wow, this is a great game, and it is building in the Web3 space. So right now, I think there's a lot of opportunity in gaming. And if you think gaming's dead, I would think again, on-chain heroes, recent NFT mint, they literally are trading at about 70% less of the total TVL of the entire chain of Abstract. This is absolutely insane data. Gaming is alive and well. We showed on the last show as well, Gabe Layden posted a crypto game that's done 200 million in revenue this year. Nobody's talking about this type of stuff. And people are gonna start filtering back into data, filtering back into how strong a product is. I have 3 coins high level, and then I think, really I'm gonna give you 5 that I would be DCAing right now in the gaming space, because I do think gaming is right around the corner. We're going to see Off the Grid come live with mainnet and TGE. We're going to see MapleStory come live with both mainnet and TGE. So this is going to be big catalyst for the gaming space, because MapleStory is a more I would say Eastern, like in Asia, they're very popular there. And then we have Off the Grid over here on the Western side of the world. And I think the combination of those, especially for Avalanche, is going to be very bullish. But for the entire gaming space, I could see this really, no pun intended, stimulating the market. And I think the best, we're going to go one by one here. I think the best trade in gaming right now is Prime, for multiple reasons. If you look at Prime right now, it has taken a massive dip, and I think it has recovered a little bit, but yeah, it's sitting at 560. It's really back down at those levels. Anything around $5 on Prime for a long-term buy this cycle, I think is incredible as far as an entry price. And I think it's the best AI trade out there because of the Wayfinder Foundation. You can hold and stake your Prime, which is one of the top gaming coins, also has AI integrations. They're coming out with their colony builder, which is fully AI agent built. And then you see Prompt coming out, which is the Wayfinder token. And you can stake your Prime and earn Prompt, and you're getting a huge chunk of the supply if you do this. I think this is going to be one of the biggest wins of the entire cycle if it's played right. And really all you have to do is cash your Prime, set the amount of time that you want to do. It gives you a multiplier, and you can jump in. And they actually just gave users access yesterday to the testing program. And if you look at a couple of the things here, you can just do on-chain activity straight through this. It's incredible. I want to check my current rewards and then claim the amount, as you can see here on these screenshots. It's literally like your trading assistant. Imagine you had an AI agent assistant in your pocket at all times for everything on chain. Gives you the data. Where can I find yield? Where can I, what is my pending reward here? Claim it for me. It really becomes so autonomous at that point. And also, it's just amazing to have this type of technology in your stack when it comes to investing. And at 566, I think that Prime is definitely one of the best DCAs in this market right now. The next one that I would be looking at in the gaming space is undoubtedly Superverse. Look, Superverse went from $2.20 down to 70 cents. And you guys know I love these altcoins, but like I said, I'm sticking to quality. And if you've missed these runs, if you were looking at Super, if you were looking at Prime at $17 just a few weeks ago, if you were looking at Super when it was just recently trading at $2.15, but you're scared to buy at 70 cents, I really don't know what to tell you. And of course, I'm going to harp on these altcoins because I think they have been the strongest in the market when the altcoin market is right. And especially when gaming comes through the door, you're going to see these specific alts do the best. So for me, Superverse is absolutely near the top of the list with Prime. We see them getting listed on Swissborg, which is a top European exchange, which is supporting 16 fiat currencies, linking to 3 centralized exchanges to secure the best prices. Swissborg is the overarching entity that also invested in Xborg, which I'm very bullish on Xborg, obviously. So to me, that's a double catalyst. I love Super. I think Xborg also they're very undervalued at the same time. But right now, Prime, especially from $17 down to $5, and then we're looking at Super here, which was trading at $2.20, which is now at 70 cents. That is just an unbelievable steal whenever it comes to price points. And then I'd also be looking at Ronin and Zentry. So these two are pushing some of the most in the space right now. Ronin just went open source. Zentry's Ragnarok Landverse just went live. Ragnarok is like a classic IP. The closed beta started yesterday, and it's already on mainnet on the Ronin network. The Zentry token bridged over to Ronin. You can now trade that on the Ronin network. I think this is going to end up being one of the more popular games on the Ronin network because the type of game that it is, it really fits. And I know Zentry and Ronin are cooking up a lot behind the scenes to kind of make this one of the bigger games on their network. So for me, I love Ronin, especially if you look at Ronin, the strength of this token has been incredible. Let's just go check it out. Still sitting at $1.24, like really not taking a big hit with this market. Even on like the weekly and the monthly looks a little bleak. It's down 25%, but most altcoins were down 60+% over the course of the month. So that's a very, very strong sign. I love Ronin, but I also love Zentry at these prices. Let's find Zentry here, sitting at exactly $100 million market cap. This is a definite buy in my opinion. So far, Prime, Super, Zentry, Ronin. Those are the 4 that I really like at these prices. But also, I get a lot of questions on Twitter about Beam. And look, Beam under a cent, this is the lowest we've seen it since they migrated from Beam to Merit Circle late 2023. If we look at the all chart here, let's just pull this up. You can see this has not traded this low since November of 2023. It's ridiculously cheap at this point, and I think that Beam, just knowing the amount that they're burning, the node sale that they just did, they have a lot of games onboarding every single day. If you go look at their Twitter, you can see the games, and they're not just cookie cutter games. Like today, a new game joined their chain. It looks pretty good. I'm going to try to check it out this weekend as well. So the 5 gaming coins I would be DCAing at this point in time: Prime, Super, Beam, Ronin, Zentry. Is that new? No, it's not. But at the same time, you have to instill confidence. Money's rotating back into quality. Money's rotating back into utility. And I think gaming is going to see a lot of that action in the coming months with the upcoming catalysts that are on the table. So gaming is number 1 for me. That's where I'm DCAing quality more than anything. In AI, obviously, as I mentioned, I put in a position on Tau at 375. Feeling great about that. I would be looking at Render, Virtuals Protocol, also very strong. We mentioned Prime. I would be looking at Desync, Heart, GPU, and Neural AI. That's where I'd be looking in the AI space, and I'm really not going to delve outside of that. If you want an alternative pick there, I think 0x0 is also a very strong option. And we're really not going to get into meme coins today. I think, and now at this point, my RWA position is just completely Mantra. Like Mantra has just destroyed it. They're trading at a diluted market cap above Polkadot. So it's pretty crazy to see that. And it happens so fast when we go look at RWA coins. I mean, this thing has just been a monster. It's almost flipped Hedera, which is crazy, on circulating market cap. It flipped Ondo by circulating and FDV, and I think Mantra is just going to keep growing. They have some of the best partnerships and best real-world application in the entire space, so I'm looking at Mantra. If I'm going with a low cap option, I'm still betting on Lingo, but Lingo has been hit hard because it's a low market cap coin in this market. So just to summarize, I'm really heavy gaming right now. I think money's going to filter back into these top narratives, and gaming has the most on the table in the short term that I think we could see a big influx of capital come back into the gaming space. But I'm going to do an updated video this next week on my portfolio because it has definitely changed with this altcoin downturn. I've cut some meme coins out of my portfolio. I've added, just moving that money into higher positions in my portfolio, like infrastructures for gaming, blockchains, etc. But really, that's what I'm seeing right now. More so than giving you guys a new token today, just harping on the fact that look where these things were trading 45 days ago. And if you're not willing to take some of your liquidity and stack into your top positions at 60% discounts, I really don't know what to tell you at this point in time, because if you liked Super at 220, why wouldn't you like it at 70 cents? If you liked something like Beam at 3 cents, why don't you like it under 1 cent? That's the type of logic, but crypto is a psychological game at the end of the day. But those are the coins that I'd be most confident investing in today, given the current prices and landscape. But on top of that, I will update you guys on my portfolio, because even just over the last couple of months, it has changed drastically, and just changed in the fact that I've cut out a ton of projects, which I feel like just are too risky or just not quality enough to hold long term. So guys, like the video down below and subscribe to the channel for more if you enjoy the content. We will see you on the next one. We'll be back on Monday. As always, play well, my friends, and of course, stay bullish, my friends.